There's really no numbers to back this up, but here in Jacksonville in Northeast Florida, I would say that real estate sales, residential, new construction accounts for about 10% of that. Just looking at my MLS today, looking at 20,000 plus listings, residential here in Jacksonville, give or take, very rough estimates. And then accounting for new construction, which is not always listed on MLS, I would say that at least 10% minimum of the residential sales here in Northeast Florida is new construction, which is a really great thing because in times when inventory it was very low, we were very blessed here in Northeast Florida. Unlike other regions of Florida, we had other options of inventory such as new construction. Now we have a balanced market of inventory. And so a lot of builders have built a lot of spec homes and they have a lot of incentives, which has been a great advantage to a lot of people that have been able to pay for their closing costs with those incentives and also not only buy down the rate 3 to 1 year, but even been able to buy down the rate for 30 years fixed. So this is a great opportunity for folks that are looking for a new home and of course being able to take advantage of those incentives as I make this video in July of 2024. Now, with all that being said, one of the biggest questions I get all the time, since a majority of my business is new home construction, people always ask me, how do I rank the builders? And so today I'm going to try to tackle that question. But first, I want you to realize that every builder in different regions and different parts of the country, whether it's the same builder, they can rank differently than a local builder here in our area. It's just really dependent on your construction manager and your team that you have behind you when you get into a contract of purchasing a new home construction. So today, I'm going to go ahead and tackle it, give you some really good, wise advice, and let's get into it now. Okay, so really quick, just let's get this out of the way. Usually, I believe when people are super angry or had a really bad experience with a builder, it is because they did not really have their expectations met. They did not have a team of people behind them to guide them through the process. And they kind of walked in blindly, and of course their expectations weren't met. And like all things in construction, things are going to go wrong. So when people ask me what's the best builder in town, I'll tell you that majority of the builders in town are production builders, and they own a lot of the land here in Northeast Florida. So I just like to tell people they all stink. And people get really taken back by that. Now, of course, I kid, but the reality is that all builds are really dependent on what you're looking for. At the end of the day, you get what you are paying for. So before I get into it and break it down and get to the nitty gritty, to cover myself, I have to say, and I'm literally going to read it to protect myself, but the content in this video is provided for information and entertainment purposes only. The views and opinions expressed are my own and do not represent professional advice. This video is not intended to substitute for professional advice and should not be taken as such. Any actions taken by viewers based on the content of this video are entirely at their own risk. I do not assume responsibility or liability for any errors or omissions in the content of this video. Now, I'm glad I got that out of the way because that is just, unfortunately, the way of the world these days. But I think this is going to be very constructive otherwise. So number one, you get what you pay for. There are different tiers of builders, And of course, you get what you pay for. There is a builder in each niche that has a specific type of buyer they're looking for. And therefore, majority of the builders we're going to talk about are production builders, track builders. Some of them call themselves semi-custom, but that's really what we're going to cover today. A lot of the national builders and some of the local builders. And so I think it's good for you to really educate yourself on what builders are here. And some of them you're going to know are major national name builders that you've heard of, depending on where you're watching from. And some of them you've never heard of because they're local builders that only build a certain amount of homes per year and have a very good reputation. So there's many different factors that you should be considering about which builder you're going to choose from. But if you continue to watch many of my videos, you should know that the first and foremost thing is that you're kind of zeroing in on a area of interest. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go, okay, where do I want to be and what do those communities look like? And then from there, the big thing I tell folks, and if you watch some of my live videos on Thursday nights where I interview people that actually built new homes, they usually find themselves gravitating towards the premier lot, that best chosen lot, that pie-shaped lot, that cul-de-sac lot. And depending on what that lot is available, and builders are building on those lots, are the floor plans that follow up that help people make their decisions. And of course, without saying, it definitely is dependent on budget as well. So location is first and foremost. Once you decide what area you want to be in, then you can really get into the nitty gritty as far as what builder you want to build with. Now, once you figure out that community and what builder you want to build with, remember also in the lot that you're aiming for in that community and what builders have those lots, you want to make sure that you find yourself a real estate professional, somebody that deals with new construction every day, that has a ton of builds in place, and that has a team of people to help you with that process, because it is a very involved process. And so when you pick the right real estate professional that is currently has plenty of customers building, they can tell you from experience and from their contacts and their networking, guide you to those builders, tell you the pros and cons of that builder, and then also make sure that you're matched up with the right builder sales rep. Okay. Now, remember, the builder's sales rep works for the builder, not for you. They represent the builder, and their first and foremost interest is for the builder. And again, just like real estate professionals or realtors, not all builder reps are created equal. So an example is if a builder rep is not worked with that builder for a long time, they may not know the community as well as somebody that's been in that community for a number of years. They may not know their floor plans as well, not just not know their own floor plans, but also know what can be done with those floor plans as far as structural options. So it's really important that you find a good real estate professional, and that real estate professional has relationships with the builder reps that are experienced, because this is the team that you're formulating to build. Okay. All right. Now, not only do you want to have a good real estate professional, you also want to have the best sales rep for that builder representing the builder, that is one of your main contacts and your realtor's main contact. You also want to have someone to help you with the design process. Okay. The design process is very rigorous. And unfortunately, in new construction, most builders require you to make all these decisions in 1 or 2 days. Okay. So if you're building a big home, you have to pick a lot. You have to pick where the home is going to sit on that lot. You've got to decide what all the structural options are for that home, okay? Windows, doors, whatever options that you have, you need to figure that all out, okay? Then you have to go to a design center. And in the design center, you have to pick out flooring, You have to pick out the countertops. There's a million things you're going to pick out, and it's very overwhelming. So again, you want to formulate the right team. Now I've come to the process now where I've added on, as part of my services, someone to attend with you to design centers, someone who has worked for a builder before, someone who has a design background, someone who's there as your representation with the design center, the builder's design center person, to help you as a team to pick out the finishes so that you stay within your budget. And then also you make the right decisions also that are good for resale, someone to be in your corner to guide you through that process. And that's really, really important. Now, that goes to say, not all builders give you that design center option. Okay. So that's why today I'm talking about probably 4 different tiers of builders, starting from number 4 all the way to the top tier builders. Okay. So the builders that you do not have that option to pick out your finishes are your massive track home builders, your massive production builders that are nationally well known, that their goal is to churn out as much homes as possible. Their business model is based on volume, and there's some pros and cons to that. And obviously the number one pro is that these homes are affordable. They're usually designed best for your first time home buyer. And then second of all, it can also be a good option for those of you that don't want to make any decisions, because you're not able to make all the choices that you would in a semi-custom home. So for instance, all your floors, all your cabinets, they're all packaged in 3 or 4 different options, and you can choose 1, 2, 3, or 4, and that's it. It's as simple as a process as that. And usually these massive tract home builders are also the ones that have the deeper pockets to give the greatest incentives. So again, I go back to, you get what you pay for. And so those builders are usually KB Homes, DR Horton, and Lennar Homes. So if that is you, and this is what fits what your buying power is, or what is convenient for you, or if you're a first-time home buyer, you're looking for entry level, then this would be a good start for you in this bottom tier 4. The next tier I'm going to go up, and again, this is very regional specific. I would say that this builder builds heavily, again, a large volume of homes. They build a lot of homes on speculation. In fact, one of them, Richmond American, is only building spec homes. So you do not have the option to pick your lot, pick your structural choices and your finishes as of filming this in 2024. You're basically given a list of all these speculative homes that the builder has chosen to put on that lot with all the finishes already picked out, and you are just given a price based on the availability and demand. And they do have also incentives based on how the market is doing for them in that region. Another builder that I would put on that same level would be also Dream Finders, which has become recently in the last few years a national builder across the country, buying up other builders. So I would put them on that tier 3 above the tier 4 that I mentioned before. The next level up, I would say, in this region is a Mattamy home. Mattamy is also a national home builder with major volume. I do find that they do give different options based on the community as far as level of finishes. These homes, again, I would call them a tier 2 and a middle grade builder for the affordability and the incentives. They also too have a lot of spec homes, but you do have the option to do a pre-sale. Pre-sale means that you do actually get to pick out your lot and pick out your finishes. So again, Mattamy, I would say, is that mid-level builder around the two. Okay, so the next level of builder above Mattamy, I would put in that category, and again, locally, is ICI and David Weekley. ICI and David Weekley, you'll see them together in many of the master plan communities here, like Seven Pines, Middlebourne. I think I like to group these builders up because I find like they're in the same level. They're fantastic because they have spec homes and they have semi customizations as well. They're both family-owned business, but on a national level. And again, I'm going to reiterate, all these builders have their pros and cons. Some have better customer service. Some have better options. ICI, for instance, their claim to fame is that you're able to do a lot of semi-customizations. They will allow you to add a window, move a wall. Now, David Weekley on that level, they do not allow those customizations. In fact, David Weekley, for as far as I understand in this market, they don't really do pocket doors, for instance. So I like to put those two in a category in themselves. Now, the next level I'm going to say is, again, another two is, I would say, is local builders that are well known in this area that have been around in the test of time. And these builders are known as Providence Homes, Riverside Homes, and Ashley Homes. Now, these are all local builders. They're not doing massive volume. Instead, they're building about 200 homes a year, if that. And so those builders, again, probably don't have as many options in the design centers as some of the bigger customized builders like David Weekley and ICI. But in the other side of things, those builders may offer things that ICI and David Weekley don't offer that are included in the home build. For instance, Providence Homes here in Jacksonville, they offer foam insulation, energy efficient attic spaces and energy efficient homes. That's their claim to fame. Again, Riverside Homes, another great local builder. They'll do a lot of upgrades that are included in the home, such as smooth walls. You may get some extra windows that would otherwise be structural upgrades with the other builders. And again, also, I think on that same level, I would categorize Ashley Homes as well, another local builder here in Northeast Florida. I like local builders because they're smaller, they're a smaller operation, and they're run on a different way than some of these larger corporate national companies. But again, it's really dependent on your needs and wants and who you feel comfortable using, because again, it's not always the builder that depends the success of your build. It really comes down to the construction manager. And so if you pick the right real estate professional, you picked out the right finishes with that help, with that real estate professional's help, and the design center, and the right structural options with the preferred rep with that builder. And then, of course, you do due diligence with inspections, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more here in a bit. You're going to have more likelihood of success of your build meeting your expectations. So I like a lot of those builders. Full disclosure, I actually live in a Providence home. At the time, I didn't really know much about Providence, but again, I really liked the location of my house, and walking through it, I felt like it was a good quality build. So I'm with a local builder, and I've been pretty happy with them overall. All right, so now going to tier one, top builders that I think are very well renowned in this area. And nationally, it's a weird combination, but I would put these two builders together And one of them is another local builder, and they are a semi-custom builder, and that is Dosty Homes. Not a lot of people know a lot about them, but they're a quality builder. They've been around a long time. Their finishes are very nice. Their floor plans are very nice. So I would match next to a Toll Brothers. Now, everybody knows Toll Brothers, and they're very well known on a national level. Now, just because I'm ranking these builders high at a 1, we've had issues with Toll Brothers in one community where they're fantastic, and they've had a really bad experience in another community in the same master plan community. And again, that goes back to the construction manager that is actually building your house. And so as a real estate professional who deals with a lot of the builders, you really have to know who the construction manager is, develop a good relationship with them, and work as a team to help get that build going in that 9 to 12 month period it takes to build new construction homes. And not all construction managers are created equal. Not all of them are experienced, because this is production builds. A lot of them are overwhelmed with too many builds at one time. And it is really virtually difficult for any one human being to notice every little aspect of a build, because they're dealing with multiple vendors in all aspects of the build. And so it is very hard for one individual with 10, 15, 20 builds to be able to pick up on every little item on your build. So that's why, again, it's important to have a good real estate professional on your side and a good builder rep, just in case something is not right. And the reason you need that is basically someone to advocate on your behalf while the build process is going on. All right, so out of all the production builders, I've just mentioned some out of on 4 tiers. And I think that the ultimate builders, which I did not include here, are some of the more custom builders. And I would say those are very few in between. There's not a lot of communities that you have the option to build custom, but some of those honorable mentions are ones that are not heavily into the production side of business. Here is Glenn Layton and Arthur Ruttenberg. So there you have it, folks. Those are kind of from your tier 4 up to tier 1, and then your custom builders. There are way more custom builders and options that you can choose from. The key is making sure you manage your expectations and have a good team of people behind you. So we've talked about having a good real estate professional, having the right rep for the builder working with you as well, having somebody help you out in the design with the design team. And then finally, what is most imperative, and people overlook it because it's kind of like insurance, is your inspections, okay? So it is really key that your real estate professional has good inspectors they can trust. And I tell you, that is not very easy. There are a ton of inspectors out there, and they are not created equal either. So it's really imperative that you have those inspections done. I think the key ones are, if you are willing to go overboard, because they're not cheap, is the pre-drywall inspection, which basically inspects the framing of the home, all the HVAC, the electrical, and the plumbing behind the walls before drywall. Your final inspection, which is done a week or 2 before your closing. And then finally, your third inspection that's really important, I believe, is your warranty. So all these builders offer warranties. Usually you have a 1-year bumper to bumper, and then a 2-year for your HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and then your structural is usually around the 10-year mark. Okay, so it's really key to have that inspection at the 10-month period of home ownership. It allows your home to settle, for you to live in it a while, and to really have an inspector come in to make sure there are no major issues before that 1 year inspection is up. So with all that being said, there are a lot of factors of being successful in building a new construction home. It's really dependent on the location. It's dependent on your budget. It depends on your situation, and being able to find the right fit for you based on where you are on your life. So, and more importantly is the process, okay? And having the right team behind you to make the right decisions in purchasing a new construction home, whether you build, whether you buy a spec home, whether you buy a quick move in, a cancellation, anything is really important to have advisors, people on your side to advocate for you to make sure that you're not getting yourself into major problems. Okay. And finally, you get what you pay for. So, I appreciate you watching this video. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, do so now. And then I'd like to offer and extend my services to you as a resource here in Northeast Florida. I specialize in new construction, not only, but a big portion of our business is new construction. I am the son of an architect, and at any one given time, we usually have 20 to 30 builds. And so I do have the team of people, and part of my services is not only to steer you and guide you right, or not steer you, but guide you in the right direction to find the home or the spec home that fits your needs, but also to make sure you have help in the design center should you have that opportunity to pick out the finishes. That is no charge to you to have my team member come and attend those 1 or 2 days with you for the design center process. And then as of recently, I'd like to extend another offer because I think it's so important. I would like to extend an offer. Anybody that uses my services for new construction, I would like to offer a final inspection and a 10-month warranty inspection as part of my offer and services at no charge to you. All these services that include the design center visit and these 2 inspections are valued well over $1,000, if not $2,000. I'd like to extend that to you. If you watch this video and you're still watching at this point in the video, and you give me a call, text me, or email me because you're thinking about new construction, mention this video, and that offer is good for you. We're going to give this a trial here in July of 2024, see how that works. And again, I'd love to be a resource of choice. Thank you for watching these videos, and please go ahead and check out these next couple of videos. See you there.